With the National Congress uppermost in many people's minds, it's really important to remember not just what they do, but how they do it. Let's clear up a little confusion first. The National People's Congress, consisting of almost 3,000 deputies elected from 35 electoral units, includes all provinces, autonomous regions, Hong Kong and Macau, as well as the People's Liberation Army. Ethnic minorities represent more than their share of the population, and that meets once a year. And if the BBC were to be believed, the world's largest population and second largest economy, with the fastest economic growth in history, is governed by a rubber-stamped parliament. What they don't realize is that behind the scenes, these people have been cooperating, consulting, gathering information, and discussing with each other so that everyone voting has already given input and is satisfied that what they vote for is in the best interests of the people they represent. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be put to the vote. The National Congress of the Communist Party of China takes place every 5 years. This is where leadership, constitution, political guidance, and important emerging issues are discussed. For this National Congress, there are 2,296 delegates, and they've been elected from all walks of life to represent the 96 million party members. In the US, it's possible for a TV personality to become president. In the UK and Australia, the Prime Minister is elected by the party, which, in the case of the recent UK Prime Ministerial election, was by 154,500 people. In other words, 0.2% of the population elected a politician who just 1 month into the role has the worst popularity rating for any British Prime Minister in history. This is definitely not true of China, where in order to achieve promotions, officials need to be both selected by their peers and subordinates and elected by the people they represent, none of which would happen if they didn't have both the academic background and the experience necessary to do the job they're expected to do. As President Xi, possibly the world's most popular leader in his own country, with an approval rating as assessed by both Harvard University and the University of California in the high 90s, wrapped up his speech where, amongst other things, he discussed corruption and self-governance. It's worth looking at what's being done under his name. Since the 18th National Congress, the one where Xi came to power, more than 4,390,000 cases of corruption were registered. 640,000 members have been punished. Just in the first quarter of this year, 112,000 people have been disciplined by the party. But according to the people who work within the structure, the number of cases has seen a downward trend. And investigations have become easier as people realize that there is no longer a protective umbrella. So much so that in 2021, more than 38,000 people voluntarily surrendered themselves to the authorities, and more than 104,000 voluntarily confessed their wrongdoings. A great many dinners were held, and much expensive wine was consumed in the days before Xi came to power. Nowadays, ostentatious displays of power and wealth by government officials are gone. Considerable savings are passed on to the places where they're needed. The 1.3 billion people who are not members of the party have witnessed and continue to enjoy significant changes to governance, improving lifestyles, and growing wealth, as well as improved infrastructure, health, and education. What more does a population need? And what more can they ask from their leaders?